some involvement in this program.
Council. Any reconsideration after hearing the mayor's explanation?
And if I can add to that, the reason why we came to council for this committee is because Sustainable Jersey, in getting involved in the program, looks for a town's endorsement, and they refer to a council resolution, which is broad because not all towns in operational positions use council for operations as ours. We're, not the majority of towns. We're the minority in this form of government, but this form of government doesn't really fit to what their program is asking for. So to meet their needs, we're seeking the council resolution so that we can pursue the operational needs in this program.
So how does council wish to continue with the wording on the council member? Mr. Skull suggested 2 council members or appointees.
I'm fine with 2 council members.
I would be okay with that also. Anyone, any objections to that?
No.
All right. Is there a motion on the resolution 44 as reworded?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
What if there's more than 6 people that want to be involved with the resolution? Because the way the resolution reads, I mean, it's saying 6 members. What if we, get 10 people that want to be involved? Would they just be, people that are just coming to the meeting, or?
And I guess that should reflect 7 because council just made it 7.
It says 6 members and it would be 2 members from council.
Correct.
Two.
Okay. Right, 8, correct. So to answer your question, Mayor, would you care to address that?
Well, it is a committee. Where do you stop it? There has to be you have to pick a number and say, this is what we believe we're going to be able to function with to meet the needs at this point. Doesn't mean that we can't increase it at a later time if we feel the need. You may have 20 people that want to be on it. This wouldn't be a public meeting to where we'd be meeting in here with anybody that wants to show up. It's a committee meeting of those that are involved in the program on this committee to work out ideas on how to be more sustainable. And then obviously the committee can have open sessions with public, but the idea is to start brainstorming with the individuals that or the slots that we're trying to fill now. It's the start of a program, so obviously it can change.
Right. Yeah, I understand it. I guess my thought, when I sat on the Environmental Commission, at one point in time, it got hot and there was, tons of people that were coming out to the meetings. And then we had people even from Mount Holly coming to some of our meetings, and they were considered, I think they were auxiliary members or something like that. So I was just, taking that into consideration. But you're right, there does have to be a number set, and if that number can increase, more people do want to be involved.
Okay, is there a motion on the resolution as amended?
Can we clarify this? Because the way it's written, it actually says that two council designees. Or do we want it to say 2 council members, since we are doesn't want to support people to it. Did you get that?
I'm fine with council members. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to sitting on this committee.
Okay, maybe we'll appoint you. Okay, then I'll move that we, move resolution 44, 2014 as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All the council, please.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes,
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Motion passes. Other resolutions, 47, 2014, appoints members to the Pemberton Township Municipal Utilities Authority. We did receive a letter from Mr. Elmer D'Imperio requesting to be reappointed.
I move we appoint Elmer D'Imperio for a term of 5 years to the MUA.
I'd second that.
All the council, please.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Resolution 28, 2014 appoints members to the Veterans Advisory Committee. This was tabled from our reorg. We did receive some names for the American Legion, Dave Kelly with an alternate of Russ Franks. Nothing for disabled American vets?
Yes, we have Don William
Okay,
for disabled vets.
thank you, Ms. Skull. Don Williams. Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 6805, Tom Cathers.
Yes.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 10065, James Singleton and Darrell Wilkins as the alternate. Is there a motion on this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All the council, please.
Yes, that was me.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes.
And can I just say, I would like to thank the members that have served on the council as council's liaison. The Veterans Council works very hard for the veterans in Pemberton Township, and we appreciate the service and the time they spend. And thank you, Mr. William, for agreeing to do it again for another 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Skull. Ordinance number 1, 2014, an ordinance establishing salaries, compensation, and benefits within the township of Pemberton. May I have a motion to adopt,
Now, this would be an
introduce,
introduction.
you're right, to introduce with public hearing to be held.
Can we possibly table this? I would like an opportunity to study it a little more and do some comparisons, and I really didn't get a chance to do that this week. Is it imperative that we introduce it today? Can we wait till the next meeting?
I don't know why, we don't even have the budget yet, so.
Okay. Well, that would be my motion to table it to the next meeting then.
All right, there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Poll the council, please.
Mrs. Skull?
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Cordier?
Yes.
Moving right
Bill
along.
number, under legal services, 14-00173 for $447.47. Was pulled by Ms. Skull. Is there a motion to approve this bill?
Motion to approve bill number 3-01-20-155-000-275. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the,
In the amount of $447.40.
right. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Poll the council, please.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Oh, yes. Ms. Skull?
Abstain.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. General public comments. Anyone wishing to make comments to the council, please come forward. State your name, print your name, and make your comments.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Bill Hardy, I'm a Brownsville resident. And basically I'm here tonight to ask, who's full of it? Because obviously somebody is. I had called in September, looking for, see if there was any funds available for emergency repairs, grant money, anything like that. And basically I was told, okay, well, no funds are available, but I was given two phone numbers to call. One of the persons I talked to was Terry Schreider, who's with the state community affairs, and he told me about the grant that Pembroke Township had received to the tune of somewhere around $400,000. And to his knowledge, at that point, there was about $150,000 left on the grant that I should file an application with it, which I did. And when I filed the application, I gave it about a week, 10 days, and called Rehabco, who was the company that's handling it for the township, and they said, oh, well, you'll hear something from us in about 2 to 3 weeks. Never heard anything, and I called them several times. They said, oh, all of a sudden, no money's available. And it's like, okay, that was fast for $150,000. But, so I did some other calling around, and I was in here on, I believe it was the 2nd, to get my dog license. And I went into Councilwoman Stinney, and she had me go over and talk to okay, which I did. He was not there at the time, but I left a message for him. And he called me back, and I talked to him for a while, and it was just funny that one of the phone numbers he gave me to call was Terry. And I talked to Terry, and I had talked to him a couple times before. He recognized my voice, recognized the name, and he says, yeah, he said, it's funny you call. He said, because just in the process now of canceling the grant, he had some fancy terms for what he was doing. He said, because there's $104,000 that was not spent. He says, roughly, he said, there was 25% of the grant they just didn't use. He said, this is money that's just going to be gone. Because it won't be. And because one of the things that I was informed was that, oh, well, the grant, they didn't have any money because the grant was not renewed for 2014. That was what I was told. That's what Dave told me. The grant was not renewed, and Terry told me he had already gotten one extension on the grant, and he couldn't get him another one to spend the money. So now, how come I'm getting from Terry, who's basically with the state that oversees the grant, that, oh, there's $104,000 that just got flushed down the toilet, but from the township I'm hearing, oh, there isn't any money available. And from the people who were running the program, which was Rehabco for Pembroke Township, they're telling me no money's available. But by the same token, the way I read it, as of the 9th, it's telling you if you want to apply for one of these grants, to come down, get an application, and fill it out, and send it to Rehabco, or if you don't want to make a phone call, call them to call the township business administrator.
You talk to administration?
I'm told that there's no,
Did you address your question to administration?
I addressed it to the people handling the program, who was Dave Benedict. He is the one that was in charge of the program for the township. I was told that by him, and I was also told that by Terry, because he was the one that was handling the money and dealing directly with them.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you know anything of what he's talking about?
Not specifically. I'll be very happy to take his number and talk to him and then get a report with regard to what the issues are.
Well, my question is there money there or is there not?
Well, he would have to look into it and find out, because council doesn't handle these. So you would have to go through administration to get those questions answered.
Well, council had to approve the application for the grant.
Correct, but as far as administering the grants, it goes through administration.
Well, that's why I want to find out why I'm getting a runaround from everybody.
That's why I'm asking you to speak to Mr. Gonzalez, and he will get those answers for you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Fred Moorhead. I live in Browns Mills. I just wanted to let you all know that I came up here and talked to the tax assessor a week or so ago. I wanted to make sure that our tax exempt status was maintained. And she informed me that they took away our tax exemption on November 1 last year. I don't imagine anybody up here has any responsibility for that, but I wanted to let you guys know that that was done. And it was done without notifying us, or asking, or telling, or anything else. I did find from the tax assessor that there's an appeal process. But how can you appeal something you don't even know happened?
Do you get a tax bill?
I've had nothing. She couldn't understand why I didn't know this. She was very reasonable, very bureaucratic about it all. But we don't have any tax exemption. We're a 501c3, but she says that doesn't count because the application that was in there so many years ago is no longer does no longer apply to us because we're not an emergency squad. She recommended that we reapply. I don't know if she was ever going to recommend that until I walked in the door because we weren't notified of what this township did to us. I'm beginning to wonder what goes on in this township. I've lived here a long time. I've never felt this sort of environment, this sort of atmosphere, this sort of response to situations, lawsuits, confiscations, not even any communication. I just want to let you guys know what's happening because apparently communication is a little iffy right now. It certainly is between the tax assessor and us. And I assume you guys didn't know about it either. Did you?
Me personally, no.
Did anybody? Nobody officially was told, right? Is that the way we operate now?
Well, the
Yeah.
tax assessor
Is an independent agent, right?
doesn't report to the council or the mayor.
Who reports to the tax assessor to tell her to check our status?
I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
She wasn't able to either, or she wasn't willing to.
I've never spoken to the tax assessor about this.
She just thought that she should check our status. She said she went through all the statutes to find out whether we were still eligible or not. I said, who came down the hall to ask you to do that? Since she wouldn't have spontaneously arrived at that idea, would she? That she would suddenly check our status, coincidentally, 1 month after they cancel our contract? I don't know what's going on in this town, but I gotta tell you, when there's no communication, there's great suspicion on motives and behavior, and that's what we're at.
Thank you, Mr. Moorhead.
You're welcome.
Ms. Phillips, I seen your hand.
Good evening, everybody in general.
Good evening.
I want to remind they can pass the message to the public works. We had a cleanup day November 16. and I guess they forgot or they didn't went by there between Tennessee and Kentucky and Canadic Trail. There are 6 bags has been laying in there, 3 clear plastic bags and 3 dark bags. And I was walking today all around there and this week, and I just noticed that. And possibly there is glasses in there too. That's the reason I want to let you know now with the plowing and everything went by. I also noticed there has been a lot of cars in and out in our street and Tennessee Trail. Did anybody aware that something happened last weekend there? Oh, I gotta call the police and find out what exactly took place.
I don't know of anything that happened out there. Administration doesn't know either.
Okay, was Thursday night or Friday? That will be the 10th. Problems start by 12:30, I noticed that. And the reason I did not call, they notify the police because we have paper delivery in the community. And as newspaper carrier where I was in the past, I noticed sometimes if I want to go away or my car break down, I bring another car or be training people in different places. And I noticed there was a car by 12:35 went by, and I figured that it's the training or whatever. And the third time, I figured he missed my stuff for the little paper, but I don't get a paper Monday to Friday. I get it only Sunday right now. And well, I went to bed 4 o'clock that morning, and the next day I hear the rumor that something happened. Well, the weather was very bad. It was early in the morning. That means I do not know how I found it out. I called the chief of police or come and see him or what? Because it's in my street.
Yeah, I would speak to the chief of police, and if he can give you any information, I'm sure he'd be happy to do so.
Because I'd be willing to give them information in the vehicle. I didn't got the tag, but I can recognize the vehicle.
Well, if you want to leave us a description, I'm sure administration can pass it on to them if you'd like.
Ms. Phillips,
I
were
would
you
recommend that be done directly to someone in the police department, not in the public, if that
Okay.
vehicle may be questionable.
Right.
Okay, it's good to know. I also noticed, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't bring nothing the last time, didn't talk or anything. Didn't expect to have a meeting that night. But my problem was the stop sign on Tennessee and New York Road, where I complain all the time that you guys can cut the branches in there, and the stop sign is all the way back. If you want to just start coming out, by that time, you can get hit. And I noticed today, the tree is dying, okay? Thanks to Mother Nature, it went to care before you guys went to care that. Eventually, the tree went forth, but will be, the sad part it is, will be, the electric will go off when that happens. And I will be paid the price also, that's not fair. If you guys can look into that. I also noticed I walked for 2 hours today, and I check all the parks, and I check the basketball court and by the beach. The paint was bad, something happened when they put the paint, and we had a rain and damage, but they repaired, that's a repair. But I noticed on Tennessee Trail, I know when a road was blocked from the firehouse to Canadic Trail, to Canadic Road in Tennessee, there were stones put in there. I remember what it was all about it. But since they haven't done nothing about it, can you guys remove those stones, just put it in the side? Because in America, with big vehicle, that is trail where they have it there for them crossing there, it won't hit the trees.
Who put the stone in?
The township, many years ago. They blocked the road from the firehouse to
Connecticut,
Connecticut.
right. You know about this?
Yes, and there may be an opening it as soon, but we would want to repair the road. So at this point, it's still probably in the best interest to keep it closed.
Ah, okay.
Is that
We have
why,
discussed that.
was it being used by others other than the fire department?
I don't know the exact
Was a
reason, but I
public
think there was a concern years ago that it was a safety issue with cars going up and down that road in the park there, hangouts. I don't know. But yeah, I think your clerk may have.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to
recalled
finish.
I remember the discussion, I believe the original intention was for that to be used for kids to ride their bikes and rollerblade and be used as part of the park.
Right.
That's why it was shut off at that time.
I remember that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I noticed that, and I guess in case the big vehicle gotta go through there, and in emergency, because that's your part, the township property there. Even where the garbage is right now, is the township property there. I walk all through those woods. Things are missing around in the neighborhood, guess what, I may find them in there. Okay, and I notice also, in my plan for my 200 New Hampshire roads, the house, I know what you guys did. But they did a half-assed job. I'm sorry to use that expression, but the way it works. Back door is locked. Front door is unlocked. It's funny. 2 locks there. Can you just be sure that you secure, since you secure the back, you secure the front?
I'm sorry, if there was a question, I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Okay, my question to you guys it is, 200 New Hampshire Road house.
Right, the back door is locked.
Okay, the back door is locked.
Right.
The township, they're gonna call them for somebody put the lock there, okay? But they did half-assed job there. They left the front door unlocked.
Did we put locks on that house?
Not to my knowledge.
So that would be the home, or the bank, or the homeowner.
No, they won't pay your taxes. Pay the taxes and you guys don't do nothing about it, right? Okay? Can you guys notify them then?
That the front door is unlocked.
Exactly.
How do we know, is it the front door open?
How the front door,
Is
how
it-
the I
No,
know?
I'm asking, is the front door open?
It's not wide open. Was not wide open. When I walk in there, because I walk every day back and forth there. Just about the corner of my property.
So is it partially open?
Not wide open.
So it's closed?
It's
So
closed,
I guess the
there's a
question
lock.
that we're getting at is, how do we know that the door is unlocked?
How do you know the door, how do I know the door is unlocked?
Yeah.
Because when I'm walking, the door is halfway open.
Oh, so then it is partially open.
Exactly.
Okay.
And let's do that bolt. How can you
Have
miss it?
somebody drive by and make sure that door's closed, please? Thank you.
Okay, that's what I have for tonight. I know that I didn't hear a lot of things about it, our administration. It doesn't look good to us. Because we are a town where we are the last ones, and we're supposed to work together. We're not supposed to have, we're not in politics. We are residents. We should be treated as a resident, not as politicians. Okay? Because when the people election come, the people go in their own and do what they gotta do. But when the people get elected, they have what they do, and for that we just work with their community. Can you answer me the last question I will ask? I know this is referring to the police. Anybody knows how many patrol vehicles patrol Country Lake and Presidential Lake?
How many vehicles are
Yes.
patrolling those areas
Yeah.
at any given time?
Any given time?
I, no, that would have to fall under the police chief. You would have to talk to him about that.
Okay, good enough. Because I attended a meeting 2 years ago when our police chief came to our development, and he told us how they work. Okay? They got between this full zone, what you guys got. The police department got full zone. Full zone in, number 1 is Brownsville, number 2 in Presidential Lane is 2 zone. 3 is Lake Valley. 4 is another, I cannot even remember the one it is. But my question it is, if something is taking place in Presidential Lake like we have in December, the home invasion, and the funny part it is, that vehicle where I saw the other night, that resembled, was silver. But why in the same day, the next day I was walking around, the people were asking me, that you know what happened last time? I said, no. I don't walk the street. I be out there all night because I used to work days and nights. After I retire, I may sleep 3 hours, 4 hours. I watch TV, I read books, I cook. And for my window, I can hear, there were more than one person in the car because they were talking. If my television is down low, I can hear. That's mean, that's when the people start asking me if I knew, since I'm a member of the Civic Association, what I can tell them. I said, well, when I found that out, I will let you know.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to the chief.
Because since we had a home invasion in Christmas Day, that's mean I just cannot understand if the police is there back and forth. How many officers are in nighttime? How many cars patrolling our 2 sections? I know the country lake is bigger than here. I know that for a fact. Okay. Thank you and good night. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Ms.
Hopefully I get
Phillips.
some answer.
Anyone else? Mr. Hamilton.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Scott Hamilton, Medford Street, Browns Mills. I just have one question. That agreement that you all unanimously, I guess, approved for with J&J with respect to the Browns Mills Shopping Plaza, exactly how much is that going to cost the taxpayers of Pemberton Township? You can round off to the nearest 1,000 if you could.
Well, the answer is you really couldn't answer that now, because the developer is putting up money, and it really would depend upon the outcome of the negotiations and/or condemnation of the property. If the township's unable to reach an agreement with the property owner as to the value of the property, the township has the ability under the agreement or under law to condemn the property. So, and the developer has agreed to pay for the cost up to a certain number. And so it really would depend upon how the condemnation and/or agreement with the property owner works out. It may cost the taxpayers nothing, it could cost them something. It's going to depend on the negotiations with the property owner.
Okay, now, if the township backs out of that agreement, are we obligated to pay
Pay who?
J&J for backing out?
No.
The
The
explanation.
developer has the ability, the agreement has it's a public document, the
Okay.
agreement, so if you ask for the clerk to file a request to get it, you can get it. But the agreement provides time period in which the developer has to act. So he has to do some due diligence on the property, and there's an ability to not proceed with the agreement with Pembroke for a certain time period, but the township itself, I mean, if the township didn't follow through with its obligations under the agreement, it would be a breach of the agreement. I don't really foresee how the township would quote back it out. It's not.
Okay, but if the township did breach the agreement, like you put it, we're not obligated to pay J&J anything.
Well, The answer is, if we breach for instance, if the township breached its obligation to proceed with condemnation of the property if it was unable to reach an agreement with the property. And then Jane, the answer is theoretically, yeah, we could be liable to J&J for some money. Like any agreement, the township has obligations which administration enforces, which would have every, I am sure, I don't really foresee how we wouldn't follow through our end of the
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. Anyone else? Ms. Blackman?
Hi, Claire Wadsworth, Browns Mills. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Just one question. When will we see the budget? Is there any idea yet?
The budgetary deadline was extended to February 7th, I apologize.
Thanks.
February 7th. So the
February
mayor has until February 7th to forward it to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we close this portion of the meeting to the public. Mr. Bear,
I have nothing for the public this evening.
thank you. Engineers report. Kelly, officially welcome back.
Thank you. I have nothing additional to report from last meeting, if there's any questions.
Any questions for the engineer?
Thank you.
Mr. Reagan.
Nothing to report. Dialysis center is moving ahead. There's no new applications at the planning board yet, so we're just starting the meeting.
Thank you. Mayor?
This evening,
Yeah, it's tough when you have back-to-back meetings, huh?
I'm just trying to get you through your record book.
Too late.
Mr. Gonzalez? Council? Anybody?
I actually have nothing tonight. I would like to thank everyone for coming out. It's nice to see a decent amount of people out, and usually it's only one or two or five, but it is nice to see people out. I do have a suggestion. Ms. Phillips, she mentioned the road being blocked off, and maybe we could get a sign out there that actually lets residents know that the road is blocked off and was to be used for bike riding or whatever that was what it was originally established for. So just a thought.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No comments this evening. Thank you all for coming out this evening.
Yes, thank you all for coming out.
Yes, thanks everyone for coming out. We have to go back to, we will be going back to closed session. Right, and there may be official action pursuant to closed session.